Welcome to the Capitol, and we're honored to have Senator Harry Coates. Harry Coates, thank you very much for stopping in.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
It has been a busy week. This, of course, is deadline week. Yeah. One of the big topics that's been flying around here has been voter ID. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you what, that's Senator Ford's bill, a good idea, and it really doesn't change a lot other than if you want if this becomes law, if you want your vote counted on election day, have some sort of ID, you know. Now, you can still vote. It doesn't keep you from voting, but you have to vote on a provisional ballot that, you know, once the votes are counted and everything and they're able to do the research to make sure you are who you say you are, your vote counts like everybody else's. But the votes for that particular day, at that particular time, I'm going to have an ID if this becomes law. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so right now people can show up at the ballot and they basically just say who they are, it gets marked off, and they walk in.
Well, pretty much that's the way it is. And some polls will have a book with all the voters' names in there, and typically they'll check them off, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes, you know, walk through the door, things get busy, go to the, you know, get your ballot, go vote, get the heck out of there. And now, I think that creates an environment of possibly voter fraud. I don't think we have a lot of that, truthfully, in Oklahoma. I don't think it's a huge problem, but you know, we try to look ahead and head off things that might be a problem in the future. And
so, what does that mean if somebody doesn't have, let's say, a driver's license or something like that? What is going to be necessary for them to be able to vote?
Well, they can come in and vote on a provisional ballot. That day, you know, with you know, say this is who I am, you know, this is my address, and you know, here's something that tells you for sure this is me, but I don't have a photo ID. You know, you have no way of knowing this is me. I'm going to cast my vote. You know, you're going to have a few days to check this out. If I check out, my vote counts. That's the big change.
And so I guess the way that could impact the vote is that if there's not enough provisional votes to sway an election one way or the other, there's no impact. But if it's a tight election, these provisional votes would then, I guess, be heated and taken a closer look at.
Well, it could be. You know, we've seen what has happened up in the northern states where we have a very tight race, and every vote really does count. And of course, it counts also in most every election. It counts, but when you've got it very close, provisional votes can be very important. So you certainly want to, and you know, don't want to keep anybody from voting that should be able to.
Sure. And so, as I understand it, the voter ID bill would actually impact people without picture IDs, and would it still allow you to vote, but they would just be cast in a
provisional ballot. If you don't have a photo ID or good ID, you still get to vote. But it's just put in a box. And look, we're going to check this later. We're going to let you vote, but we're checking this at some time.
All right. Yeah. Now, also something that you've been stirring around for the last couple of years is ideas on the immigration issue, and that's been huge nationwide. Talk about what went down this week.
Well, in the Senate, I ran a Senate Joint Resolution that basically just tells Congress, you know, we're kind of tired of waiting on you guys. I mean, every state just about has some sort of immigration bill or immigration law now. Of course, last year we passed House Bill 1804, and or year before last, whichever time it was, and you know, it became law last year. You know, I mean, full effect of the law. Except for the fact now it looks like maybe portions of it that are unconstitutional, so it's tied up in the court. So even whether we like the bill or not, it is now law. And so if it's law, I want it enforced. But based on inaction on a federal level, every state's having to do this kind of thing. They're having to create their own immigration laws. And all the SJR said was, look, you guys do your job. Do what we hired you to do. Make the tough votes, get it done, protect our borders, you know, protect our citizens, and give us something that's meaningful so that we don't have a patchwork of just various laws throughout the country that they're all different. So that's what it was, just suggesting to them. I'm not sure they listen to us a whole lot, but you know, there's an opportunity if they want to listen. We've got something for them.
All right, so it's saying, okay, federal government, step up and make the laws that are necessary for everyone. Exactly. Tell us how that would impact Oklahoma and the current laws that are in place for immigration. If the federal policy did step up and it became law, how does that affect Oklahoma?
Well, states can make a law more stringent than federal law. But if the feds came in and they said, okay, here's the way this is going to work. If you're here, you're a law-abiding citizen. We can prove who you are. You know, you're going to go through the process to be here legally if you're not. Now, that's not to say you're not going to have to go back and start over. But right now, there is no really good process to be a citizen or be here legally if you're already here. I mean, you're a lawbreaker. And
Okay.
so a federal law would set up a method for the most part for those who want to be here, want to be productive citizens, want to be part of the United States, and do the things that are right to be here legally. But right now, it's, you know, we talk about, well, go back and stand in line and get here legally. There's no line. There's no place to stand. So that's kind of a misconception that someone that's here and wants to be a productive citizen that
Yeah.
aren't here legally
Right.
right now, that there's a method for them to do that. And I guess there is some way, but it's unreasonable in that it'll take you 12 years to get here. I mean, you'll die of old age before you ever get
Right.
back here legally. So.
And so this is something that impacts the kids and the families
Entire
of
family.
anybody.
Sure, the entire family, and so it's something we need. I mean, we want those that want to be here legally to be here. I mean, we're not attempting to say that they wouldn't be great citizens, but we also have to have a method of knowing who is here.
Right.
And knowing who may be here for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And so that's why we need the feds to, you know, get going on this thing.
Well, and I think that what you said is so true. We'd like to put them in a line to be able to become the citizens that we would want and that they would want. But if there's no place to stand, everybody's just out of luck.
Well, that's right, and I don't think any of us up here, at least very few, I think want amnesty for those who are here now illegally. That's not the way it works. I mean,
Right.
you've got to go through the process. We've got to know who you are, what you're doing, and so it's important. It's an important issue, I think, that we need to keep looking at, but 1804, certain provisions of that are going to be tied up in the courts for a long time, I suppose, just because we don't have a federal law that's clear and concise as to what we need to do.
All right, and of course, it's been deadline week. Talk a little bit about that. You guys have closed down for the deadline. That feel good?
Oh, it feels great. Yeah, we started out with about 800 bills, got them all out. We finished up today about 10:30, and of course we always have paperwork to do up in our office for people to talk to. But yeah, it's good to get the bills out. We've sent all our bills over to the House. House is still in. I guess they'll be in tomorrow too, working on their bills. So. We're feeling good about it, and next week we'll send their bills through the committee process, and we'll start working them back the other way. So yeah, we're culling them out.
All right, Harry. Good job through
Thank you.
through the
Thank you.
first
Thank
part
you.
of the
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
And always remember, Harry wants to be contacted by us. He
bet.
needs to hear our dialogue, needs to hear what we have to say for ideas.
And I'll look forward to it. You betcha.
Yes.
Thank you.